Hello and welcome to TTV News, some latest event in the province. And now we came into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of July 5th, the Provincial Steering Committee for Protecting the Party's Ideological Foundation, Fighting Against Wrong and Hostile Views and Foreign Information, referred to as the Provincial Steering Committee 3557, organized briefing conference for the first 6 months of 2024. The conference was chaired by Mr. Phạm Hồng Thái, Permanent Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, heads of the Provincial Steering Committee 3557.
In the first 6 months of the year, the Provincial Steering Committee 3557 and the Steering Committee 35 at district and equivalent level propaganda forces protecting the party's ideological foundation were regularly reviewed, consolidated, and ensured to maintain the operational efficiency. The work of spreading positive information, the work of understanding the situation, tracking, handling, and removing harmful information is focused on being carried out by localities and authorities, which has a positive effect in maintaining stability, ideological security, social order and safety in the province. The effectiveness of propaganda and dissemination on the internet and social networks is promoted. Concluding the conference, Mr. Phạm Hồng Thái proposed that in the last 6 months of 2024, party committees, localities, agencies, and units need to pay attention to improving the quality forces and continue to promote the role of propaganda forces, protecting the party's ideological foundation, being rustic and flexible in resolving arising cases. At the same time, promote the active role of press agencies and social networks in propagating the party's policies and guidelines, and the state's legal policies, bringing positive information to delete bad information, poison, and distortion of hostile forces, with the motto using the positivity to push back the negativity.
In addition to effort to speed up the construction process of public investment projects in the province, in the first 6 months of this year, TayNinhTV focused on implementing key projects.
Goyo Samad Expressway Project Phase 1 from Goyo to TayNinhT City. On June 4, 2024, the Crossroads Appraisal Council met to give opinions on the appraisal of the project feasibility study reports. The People's Committee of TayNinhT Province has sent a document to investors to further study capital options for compensation and site clearance. A number of traffic works and projects are being focused on construction, such as Interline Road connecting area NH 787B, 789 operating and expanding DT795, Road DT794 from Katum intersection to Saigon Ridge Phase 2. The project is implementing investment reparation steps, renovating Cách Mạng Tháng 8 Street from Quang Ridge to Điện Biên Phủ, Road DT7H4C, Bầu Năng, Bầu Cốp, operate the road connecting to Tân Nam International Border Gate, the section from Tân Nam International Border Gate border station to the intersection of DT788 and DT7H3 during general projects. Deploying land allocation procedures to implement the Tân Nam International Border Gate construction projects. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in the first 6 months of the year, the fruit and vegetable industry held a leading position in export of agricultural products, with a turnover of nearly $3.5 billion, an increase of more than 28% over the same period last year. During dragon fruit, banana are the fruit products that contribute mainly to export growth in the first half of 2024. Expert predicts that with abundant supply that can meet the market's large demand, the fruit and vegetable industry is expected to set a new record this year with a milestone of $7 billion in export value. In the first 6 months of 2024, cashew exports to on traditional markets increased, especially the US, China, and Netherlands markets grew by double digits. Vietnam is currently the number 1 country in the world in cashew nut export. In 2024, the cashew industry targets export value of $3.8 billion. The Ministry of Industry and Trade forecasts that Concealed exports in 2024 still have much room for growth. However, the concealed industry is also facing the problem of raw materials, production costs, and the way of shifting to green production. Therefore, businesses need to proactively monitor market developments and invest in improving quality to maintain export momentum.
Turn to other information. In recent years, the rapid growth rate of durian area and output in some provinces has caused many people to worry about the problems of oversupply. However, in TayNinhTV province, the development of this crop is still a strong one.
By 2024, the durian growing area in TayNinhTV province will reach about 3,000 hectares, with a vision to growing to 5,000 to 6,000 hectares by 2030. According to the opinion of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development of TayNinhTV, in the next few years, durian will still be a tree with good income for farmers, especially in the situation where Vietnam has signed an agreement with China to officially export to these markets. In particular, TayNinhTV province has a different climate compared to the western and central highlands regions, so the durian harvest does not coincide with major production areas. However, TayNinhTV Department of Agriculture and Rural Development also recommends that people need to strictly control harmful organisms that the importing country is concerned about, rightly monitor pesticide residues, comply with regulations on ensuring food safety when harvesting roots, ensure physiological maturity, absolutely do not harvest young roots, strictly record production and packaging loss according to the provisions of the protocol to serve traceability requirements when necessary. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has just sent a document to Vietnam Airports Corporation and airport authorities on ensuring safety operations at airports and aerodromes. Accordingly, strictly control aircraft loads at airports and aerodromes to ensure aircraft do not exceed the load allowed for operation. Airport authorities in the north, central, and south are required to closely inspect and monitor aircraft operating loads at airports and aerodromes, promptly preventing cases of aircraft exceeding their operational load and strictly handle cases of aircraft operating in excess of a allowable load according to regulations.
At the press conference, Mr. Trần Thanh Linh, Deputy Chief of the Affairs of National Assembly Delegation and Provincial People's Council, informed representatives of a number of departments, branches, and new and press associations in the province about the content of the meeting program. Specifically, the Provincial National Assembly Delegation reports the results of the 7th section of the 15th National Assembly. The Vietnam Philanthropic Front Committee of the province announced coordinated activities to participate in the government building in the first 6 months of 2024. At the same time, reviewing 6 reports of Provincial People's Council, review 7 reports of Provincial People's Committee, and report on the work in the first 6 months of the year and directions and tasks in the last 6 months of 2024 of the People's Court, People's Procuracy, and the Provincial Civil Judgment Enforcement Department. Also at the meeting, the Provincial People's Council will consider a report on the implementation of questioning conclusions of the people who answer questions at the 10th section of Provincial People's Council and previous sections that have not yet resolved point. Delegates of the Provincial People's Council conducted questions and consider answering questions at the 14th section of Provincial People's Council, consider and approve 11 draft resolution. The meeting will take place in 2 days from July the 11th to the 12th of 2024 at the meeting hall B of the Provincial Party Committee for the opening section, the question and answer sections, and the closing sections. And currently across the province, there are 11 projects with 6 factories that have been invested in the wastewater collection and treatment systems in urban areas. And through monitoring the implementation of projects, the Department of Construction of the province has recorded a number of difficulties. Wastewater collection routes constructed on roads and sidewalks affected the people's daily activities and businesses operation also, including the relocating structures of squatters. This partially affects the construction progress aspects of the project. At the same time, regarding the wastewater connection, some households have not agreed to connect wastewater from their homes to the local wastewater collection and treatment system. Many households only agreed to connect to the wastewater collection system when 100% are supported by the state. And based on the current legal regulations and the actual local situation, the Department of Construction has advised the Provincial People's Committee to submit to the Provincial People's Council of the Province for promulgation on a resolution stipulating support for the connecting wastewater from sewage household to the collection network of the system of wastewater drainage system in the province to promote the connection of wastewater from drainage household to the collection network of the drainage system. And it is the basis to ensure the wastewater is thoroughly connected and collected. The wastewater treatment plant operates according to design capacity, contributing to sustainable environmental protection.
Ladies and gentlemen, if 2023 is considered a pivotal year for after the COVID-19 pandemic, 2024 is the year of recovery and development according to green and sustainable criteria. This year, many provinces and cities have determined to seize tourism as a growth driver, moving towards become a key economic sector. After 6 months of implementation, tourism activities of many localities show bright color in terms of number of visitors and revenues, affirming the destination brand.
The picture of Vietnam tourism in the first 6 months of this year has many outstanding points. According to the Vietnam National Tourism Administration, our country's tourism is recovering strongly. International visitors increased nearly 60% over the same period. Total tourism revenue increased 1.3 times compared to before the epidemic. In the first 6 months of the year, the total number of international visitors reached nearly 9 million. In particular, the recovery of major markets is the highlight of Vietnamese tourism in the first half of this year. Even though it was my first time coming to Vietnam, it was like coming home, very familiar because the culture had many similarities. Vietnam tourism is growing more and more. I see more and more Chinese people coming to Vietnam to travel. I think Vietnam has a lot of potential to attract French tourists because many French people like to travel to Asia. Besides, France has many large, dynamic and reputable travel companies in organizing tours to this region, especially packages combining destinations in Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Domestic tourism is in peak season. Domestic visitors in June reached 14 million, including about 9.3 million staying guests. The Vietnam National Tourism Administration said that the number of domestic tourists is increasing rapidly each month. In the first 6 months of the year, domestic visitors reached over 66 million. Total revenue from tourists in the first 6 months of the year is estimated at 436 trillion Vietnam dong. To anticipate the peak season of domestic tourism, from April, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism launched the stimulus program Vietnamese People Travel to Vietnam, Vietnam I Love. Localities as well as tourism businesses have been constantly reviewing unique and strange products to attract customers. Although there are still impacts from high effects, Vietnamese tourism is still adapting to attract tourists. Customers may be very interesting, but for us, we still have to continue to improve many things. This is just the first step. We have enough meetings and streaming. Everyone, let's do something. In last year, there were only 9 localities with tourism revenue in the first 6 months of over 10,000 billion Vietnam dong. This year, unofficial numbers show that there are about 15 localities reaching this level. With the growth in tourist numbers in the first 6 months of the year, the tourism industry is quite confident in reaching the target of 17 to 18 million international visitors and over 100 million domestic visitors this year.
Dear audience, the trans contributions of each individual, group, and community plays an extremely important role in protecting and preserving biodiversity, especially wild animals. When people's awareness is raised, they will actually participate in conservation activity, contributing to protecting the environment and creating conditions for a wild animal for proliferate.
Recently, people have discovered and reported to the authorities many wild animals are voluntarily surrendered them to be released into the national environment. This is truly a good sign after the efforts of forest rangers and authorities in propagating and raising people's awareness about wildlife conservation. Typically, on June 27, Mr. Võ Xuân Mỹ in Hoa Thanh Town discovered a pangolin crawling into his house and voluntarily handed it over to the authorities. On July 3rd, Golden Century Trading Company Limited also handed over a shaven pangolin weighing 3.1 kilograms discovered on the company's remains. These are beautiful actions that demonstrate people's sense of responsibility in protecting wildlife. Most of the individuals were in normal health conditions, then were released back into the wild by the rangers in coordination with the authorities. Through propaganda information from the media as well as the ranger force, people know that this species is especially in danger and rare according to the decreased number of 64 that are prioritized for protection. If we keep them in captivity, hunt them or bite them, we violate criminal law. Recently, the forestry sector has organized propaganda to raise community awareness in preserving and protecting wildlife. Thanks to that, the awareness of people and the community has strengthened positively. We also propagate to the people to let them know that if these species are discovered, we will also notify the Forest Ranger Agency for handling, avoiding the case of keeping them in captivity or treating them without knowing, which is a violation of the law. With the joint contributions of each individual, organization, and community, we hope that we can successfully protect wildlife and reserve biodiversity for future generations.
From July the 1st, when making money transfer over 10 million Vietnam dong per time or over 20 million Vietnam dong per day or interbank transaction abroad, customers need to biometrically authenticate with the bank to ensure the safety and ensuring the successful transactions. This is a solution proposed by the State Bank of Vietnam to ensure the safety and security in the payments. As the solutions offered by the State Bank of Vietnam are essentially to check whether the information of the person opening the account matches the information of the citizen identification card issued by the Ministry of Public Security or information in the national database about the population or not, and thereby eliminating the fake accounts, unofficial accounts, and illegal accounts also. And from there, credit institutions will accurately identify and verify customers during the payment transaction process. This biometric authentication is aimed at protecting the customers, ensuring that online banking transactions are genuine, contributing to preventing crimes or defrauding customers' assets, as well as preventing cases of renting, buying, and selling payment accounts, as well as e-wallets for use of illegal purposes. With this decision, the State Bank of Vietnam of Tây Ninh branch has also directed and closely monitored credit institutions in the area, focusing on communication work and preparing guidance methods for customer and the customer about the purpose and meaning of biometric authentication, and render staff to receive, answer, support customers, and fully implement technical solutions to ensure the information system security, as well as protecting customer data in accordance with the law. Decision of 2345 of the State Bank of Vietnam was used more than half a year ago, so it will only take effect from July the 1st of 2024. This requires not only MB Bank but also the entire banking system as well as the banking industry to prepare infrastructure, platforms, and human resources in a timely manner to serve the customer. For customer, biometric authentication is like a solid barrier to protect bank accounts more securely, and it is also well received by many customers. Customers with chip-embedded citizen identification cards can easily scan for NFC on the chip themselves using their personal phone, and customers can also go directly to the nearest bank counter to open an account for supporting in updating biometric data if the phone does not support for NFC or is using a citizen identification card without a chip. This regulation may initially cause some difficulties in the beginning stage, but for the benefit of oneself and the whole community, this regulation must be implemented. However, customers do not necessarily need to rush into biometric authentication at this time. It is important to clearly understand the regulations to avoid overloading banks.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.